Live reaction to this. This is the final college football playoff bracket, and I think this is going to be a weird day. If you guys, I'm Nick Saban's talking right now, so if you want to sync it up, this is my live reaction to it. But I think this is going to be a critical day for the CFP and the committee. I think that they have one of two options today. They have one, they're going to stick to their word and have retain even the lightest shred of accountability that they had and credibility that they had for their subjective rankings, and put in the team that was already ranked ahead of the final at-large team that was supposed to be in the playoffs right now, and put SMU in over Alabama. Or they could go the opposite route and totally lose any trust they had with the fans and just annihilate any integrity that the CFP will have this year, that they had last year, and that they're going to have going forward. Because literally last week, Ward Manuel, the CFP chair, said straight to America's face, we will not penalize teams that are in the college football playoff conference championship game or the conference championship games. We will not penalize them in the CFP playoff rankings. And literally before this weekend end, since SMU was the favorite over Clemson, everybody was saying, okay, well, we put Alabama at 11, SMU wins, Clemson's out, that's the last team in, the 11 or 12 seed. But very few people thought that Clemson actually had a chance of winning this game. And now that they actually did, I think this is going to be a lot closer and a lot more, I guess, dramatic than people thought. Let's just go over, I guess, the Power Four championships real quick. Obviously, Oregon won. They were the best team in the country. They beat Penn State, they beat Ohio State, and they beat a top 10, number 10 ranked Boise State team. So they have three top 10 victories on their resume. And they're the only undefeated team in FBS. Not Power Four. They're the only undefeated team in college football right now. The Oregon Ducks, surefire number 1 seed. Number 2, I think it's going to be Georgia, because I think, let's see, I think Georgia, oh my God, get this pillow behind me. I think Georgia it's hard because Georgia was in the CFP no matter what. Their resume spoke for itself. Their best wins were against Tennessee. They beat Tennessee. They beat Texas in the regular season, and they just beat them again. That's 2 wins over the committee's number 2 team in the entire country. So I mean, the resume speaks for itself. And their 2 losses, obviously, were to Alabama on the road, and they lost to Ole Miss on the road. Now, the only dilemma that Georgia, God, freaking trying to put this behind me. Only dilemma that Georgia's going to have right now is that they're going to have to get over the precedent that the CFP set even last year with, are you the same team with your quarterback? Well, we'll have to see the extent of Carson Beck's injury, but I think that was a little bit different than Florida State's last year, because Florida State had literally no competent quarterback, and there was absolutely no way you were going to put that team, after what you saw last 3 weeks of that season, no way you're going to put that team over Alabama, who was playing really, really good football last year. So I think we can't put those two on the same plateau, the same level playing field, because they're just not the same. You can't compare those. But at the same time, Georgia was a very different but limited team without Carson Beck. Yeah, they still, they had a lead. They got a lead with, the backup. They had a touchdown. But that doesn't mean that, they're going to maintain, this level of production, where it is against a playoff team. I mean, they had Texas's number. Texas did every single thing they possibly could to lose that game yesterday. I mean, they had, 15 penalties? They missed 2 field goals. I mean, they should have been up 17-0 at half, 17-3 at worst. And it was 6-3. And then Carson Beck gets hurt, and they still couldn't pull it out. So, I mean, Texas, I'll get to them in a second. So, Oregon's number 1, surefire number 1. Georgia, number 2. Number 3, It's going to come down to, I think Boise State will get the third spot because right now, if they maintain their integrity, the same rankings, Boise State's 3. They're the 10th. They're the conference champ. They're number 10. Arizona State is 15. They're the fourth highest rated conference champ. Then Clemson was 17 going into this. They're the fifth highest. So Boise State's going to get the 3 seed no matter what. They were number 10 going into this. They won, a hard fought game against a decent UNLV team. They're going to be the third seed. Now the debate's going to be between the 4 seed. I think they're going to still put Arizona State as the 4 seed because Clemson beat a better team in SMU, but Arizona State they were ranked higher than them, and I think they were just a better team overall. So Oregon 1, Georgia number 2, Boise State 3, and Arizona State's going to be 4th. And that means that Clemson will probably be the 11 or the 12 seed, depending on how they do it. But how they feel they should go the rest of the way. 5 seed should be Texas. I think Texas is a better team than Penn State. They both have, I guess, the same amount of wins. I would not be shocked if Texas is 6th and Penn State's 5. So those are going to be the 5 and 6. They're both going to get a home game. 7, most likely going to be Notre Dame because they were 4th going into this. They're behind both Penn State and Texas. So Notre Dame's going to be the 7th seed. They'll get a home game. And I think the 8th seed is going to remain at Ohio State. So it'll be Penn State, Texas 5-6, Notre Dame 7, and then Ohio State at 8. Tennessee is going to go on the road probably to Ohio State at number 9. They're going to play at 9. Indiana's going to be the 10 seed. I think they're number 8th or 9th going into this anyway. And they're going to put, as the 11th seed, they're probably going to put Clemson because Clemson beat SMU head-to-head. Clemson's 10-3, SMU is 11-2. But that's where, the only disparity is. Clemson won head-to-head. So it's going to come down to this last spot. Does Alabama or does SMU get the 12th seed? And again, like I opened up with this, the CFP has a choice. You either go with what you said. You literally said to millions and millions of the American people, we will not penalize a team for playing in their conference championship game, even if with a loss. If that's the case, SMU at worst drops to number 10. They get the 11th seed or the 12th seed, and Clemson gets the other 11 to 12 seed. Alabama's left out. Or they could basically say, Alabama's got a brand. Alabama, they lost to 2 6-6 teams. But they beat Georgia. They beat the SEC champ. That's gonna be the biggest argument for Georgia. They beat the SEC champion. Okay. So did Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat the SEC champion. Are they going to get in with the same exact record as Alabama? I mean, that's the kind of stuff you have to think about. Why is Ole Miss not in that conversation then? Ole Miss lost to worse teams than Alabama, but it's not like Alabama lost to much better teams. 2 6-6 teams? You mean to tell me that Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, are going to be your reasons to get in? Oh, we beat Georgia. Yeah, but you lost to a 6-6 Vanderbilt team. Oh, okay. Compare those two losses to SMU's 2 losses. 6-6 Vandy, 6-6 Oklahoma, and then obviously a 10-2 Tennessee. SMU's losses: 10-2 BYU, which in the Big 12 I think is getting absolutely no love this year. They have no team power rated inside the top 12, let alone the top 10. And that's not their own fault. They cannibalize each other. They eat each other. They do this every single year, and that's why they're only going to get one team in. That's that loss, and then your conference champ, 10-3 Clemson. What's their third loss? Oh wait. They don't have a third loss. Yes, they played what? They're showing up right now. Number 60 strength of schedule SMU has. Okay. That's not like 130th like Army is. It's still good. It's not great. It's not terrible. You still played what? Louisville? You beat 8-win Louisville, beat a 9-win Duke. They beat a 8-win Pittsburgh. They played BYU in second game of the year. They lost to BYU. BYU was a good team, turns out. Clemson, they lost on the last second field. The last play of the game in your conference championship on a 57-yard field goal, they lost. You're going to penalize them for that? I would be shocked, dude. I would be absolutely shocked if they put Alabama in this. Last year, I get it. Florida State was not a good team without a quarterback. This year, SMU has their damn quarterback. SMU has a good team. Anybody that watched that Clemson game knows SMU is a good team. But I don't know, man. I don't know how I just got a weird feeling because I seen some stuff already this morning. Freaking Paul Feinbaum, douchebomb, already on there. SMU's out. They lost. So you're gonna benefit or give credit to Alabama team. They lost 3 conference games. sitting at home because they lost to two crappy teams in their own conference. Benefit them over a team that was number 8 going in this week. Your own rankings say they're number 8. And you're going to drop them 4 spots because they lost in a last-second field goal to a 10-win team in your own Power 4 conference? No, that won't sit well with me, bro. If that happens, it'll set a precedent that the ACC will try to. What would be the purpose of playing a conference championship game? What would be the purpose of it? If SMU didn't play this week, they'd be 11-1. They'd be number 8. They'd be in, no doubt. Just they'd be just like Indiana. They would be exactly like Indiana. I mean, you could compare all their metrics, strength of schedule, the 2 quality opponents they played. You know, they lost 2, or they lost the 1 quality opponent they played, but they're still a good team. They're one of the better offenses. So what's the difference between SMU and Indiana at this point? Why would you put in Indiana if you're going to leave SMU out? They played an extra game, but they lost to a good team. Okay, why would you penalize them for that? I don't know, man. I just, of course they're gonna take what are we at now? Freaking almost 15 minutes in, or still talking about this. I mean, I'm trying to kill time here. I got 11 minutes live, but they also said SMU can potentially drop Alabama with a loss. They say one thing. I know exactly. They say whatever fits their narrative, especially for the SEC. Whatever fits their narrative. 1 week, you know, if their strength of schedule's high, they're like they're the 9-3, but they played a tough strength of schedule. The SEC is a tough grind every single week, man. But then when it comes to a team that has, you know, below a 40th ranked strength of schedule, then their argument shifts completely. Does a 180. Well, yeah, they have an easy schedule, but what do your eyes say? What does the eye test say? That is the most stupid subjective argument I have ever heard. Oh, what do your eyes say? What's the eye test? As Nick Saban loves to point out, oh, we would be favored against every single team in the field. Oh, really? Oh, really, Nick Saban? How much were you favored in 2021 against Texas A&M? Vegas said you were 3 possession favorites against A&M. Oh, how did that turn out? Oh, Vegas also said that in 2022, Michigan was a 9-point underdog to Ohio State going into the horseshoe. How did that game turn out? According to Vegas, they said Ohio State was better. Oh, wait, they lost by 22 points? Vegas also said that Georgia was only a 2-touchdown favorite over TCU in the 2022 championship game. Georgia won by 58 points. Let's see. What else can I say about this? The Vegas odds. Shut the hell up, Nick Saban. Vegas is a betting. It's a betting perception about how they want to win money. Vegas wants to put a line out so they can make money. It's not about who they think is better, because obviously Georgia analytically is better than just about every single team in the country. They have been since 2021. So that's the stupidest argument. Oh, what do your eyes say? What's the eye test? The eye test is not any. There's no metric that you can say. Oh, the eye test. What are the eye test rankings? What? There's not a number associated with that. It's just well, they're talented. Okay, talented according to who? Your ESPN's recruiting rankings. ESPN's recruiting rankings is much different than 24/7, which is much different than 1-3 Sports, which is much different than Fox or CBS's recruiting rankings. So that's the dumbest argument I have. And another argument they're going to try to get with Alabama. Oh, the name brand. The name brand. Oh, they're going to draw. Alabama's going to draw because what's the fan base like for SMU? What's the fan base like for the Mustangs? Alabama's been the dynasty for the last 15, 17 years. Oh, I'm sorry. But last time I checked, can anybody point out where Tuscaloosa is on a map? Right now. First off, can anybody point out where the state of Alabama is on the United States? Once you get past that part, the rectangle, the boot, whatever you want to call it, it's next to Louisiana. Point out where Tuscaloosa is on the map. I guarantee 95% of you had no freaking idea where the hell Tuscaloosa even is. But you want to say the market, the eyes. Really, you know what market SMU is in? Only the 3rd biggest market in the entire, or 4th biggest market in the entire country. Dallas, Fort Worth. What other team plays in that kind of area that everybody in the country loves and has eyes on? Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. But sure, the market is what's going to make you get these rankings differently. I mean, are we serious? This is where we're going to go off of right now? I just got a weird feeling, man. I really do. I really have a weird feeling they're going to put Alabama in. And like I said before, they're going to... If the ACC was smart, they would come out and be like, okay, we're not having a conference championship game anymore. The networks are not going to like that because the networks who control the four Power Four conferences. I think ABC gets both the SEC and the ACC. Well, CBS now has the Big Ten, and then what am I missing? The Big 12 is on ABC. So if you lose one of those, that's at least what 8 to 12 million viewers on a primetime slot at 8 o'clock. Networks aren't going to allow that. They don't want that. That is a massive revenue boost that they get for these conference championship games. And if you take away one of those big four, no. And then who's to say that these other conferences won't follow suit? What if we have a 10-2 next year? What if we have, say, I don't know, a 10-2 Nebraska is sitting at 9 or 10 seed right now, but they want to put in Alabama's sitting there. I have no idea. We just say that they just sit out and say, I don't want to play this. It'll set a bad precedence, man. So I don't know. Either way, they're finally getting to the damn rankings. It's only 20 minutes in. Finally, Jesus. Again, my projections: Oregon's 1, Georgia's 2, Boise State's 3, and I think they'll put Arizona State at 4. I think they're still going to do it. If not, that'll be weird to see where they go. If Arizona State's not 4th, they're going to be 12th, obviously. So. Yeah. Again, first round 18s. You've only explained this 8,000 times. We know how playoffs work. We know how first round buys work. How many people have been through college basketball for, last 50 years? We know how freaking brackets work, idiots. God, they have to do this. It's just filler now. It's going to take another 2 minutes to describe this. Quarterfinals. Oh God, I hate this so much. God, I'm tired of hearing Reese Davis's freaking national championship, his freaking voice. Jesus. He lost all my respect last year as a Michigan fan with that stupid Connor Stallions crap. So I don't give a shit what freaking Reese Davis has to say or his damn opinion. All right, let's see what Joey Galloway. Joey, should SMU have sat their quarterback against Clemson? What a dumbass. Is that why they're going to be left out? Number 1 seed. We're going to get to it. Oregon. Duh. No, that was the only guaranteed spot in here was the Oregon Ducks. Only guaranteed one. Number 1, obviously. It's going to be Georgia. Number 2 is going to be Georgia. Duh, Georgia. We'll have to see again. We'll have to see what happens with Carson Beck, but their resume, conference champion, Power 4, speaks for itself. They deserve to be number 2 seed, regardless of what happens with the quarterback. They deserve to be number 2. Come on. Oh, did you know there's 4 buys in the 12-team playoff? I didn't know that. Oh my God, we're gonna go this again. How many times are you gonna show this stupid graphic? Boise State was the highest ranked team before. They're not going to jump Arizona State or Clemson 9 spots ahead of them. Like, really? Only loss they had was to the consensus number 1 team in this. It's going to be Boise State. Definitely should be Boise. Yeah, and there's no taking away from Arizona State either. They should be the 4th seed because Clemson did. Yeah, they lost to good teams, but they're only playing a good ball. They played easy schedule, so. Boise State. God, duh. So technically, Georgia could play. We'll have to see how this bracket goes, but Georgia could be playing Boise State in the semifinals. Wow. Wow. I mean, kudos to them. Finally. Cincinnati was the first team to break through in 2021, get the group of 5. Boise State was like right there, like 4 years in the late 2000s, 2010s. They were undefeated, I think, 3 times or went number 3. So, finally. Good for them, man. They deserved it. Arizona State. I told you it should have been Arizona State. They should not put in Clemson. They were not top 4 seed. Thank you. That's correct. That right there is correct. They got these top 4 correct by these rules. Automatic qualifier, the rules. Are these the top 4 teams? By no stretch of the imagination is the top 4 teams, but top 4 automatic qualifiers, yes, it should be that order. So they have Oregon 1, Georgia number 2, Boise State moved up to number 9, Arizona State went from 15 to 12. So if Arizona State went from 15 to 12 and they beat Iowa State, who was a good team, it means Clemson's going to have to go from 17 all the way up to, well, they're obviously below 12. So that means Clemson at best is 13. But so that means they're good unless they dropped SMU all the way to 13 for that loss. That makes me feel a little better now. So Clemson's 16. Yeah, they're number 12. There we are. So that means they moved up 1 spot. Wow, went from 17 to 16. Wow. So depending on who they play, they'll play Arizona State. Winner of that game play Arizona State. Wow, it'll be. I don't know about Texas Penn State. That's the one that's up for the grabs for me. I have no idea. 1, 2, number 1, number 2, number 9, number 12, and number 16. This is why automatic qualifiers, top buys should not be a thing. Top 2 teams deserve the bye, not the 3. Okay, I figured they'd stay with, the status quo. Texas was number 2 going in, Penn State was 3. So Texas is going to host Clemson in the first round. Winner of that plays Arizona State in the quarterfinals. And, I'll do some more analysis with this as the weeks go along, but dude, Arizona State's playing freaking ball right now. They're doing good. They destroyed Iowa State, who I thought was going to be the Big 12 champ like a month ago. They destroyed that team. They took them to the woodshed. But their game, they're going to be without their starting safety the first half, which sucks because you couldn't have had a worse time to do that. Texas, Clemson. I don't know. The way Texas played against Georgia, man. Maybe Georgia's just their kryptonite. It's good that they're on the opposite side of the bracket. They can only be in the national title game, which, for the love of God, if we not see that for a 3rd time this year. That would be awful. Awful television if we saw Georgia, Texas in the national title. Oh, please. Football gods, please. Do not let that happen. Penn State's number 6. There we go. So they'll play either Bama or SMU at the 11 seed. So they're going to milk this for a while. So.
Not an objectionable path for Penn State. We'll see who they play, but then the Boise State foe in the quarterfinal. No disrespect to Boise. I think you take that probably. Yeah, if you're looking at Penn State again, you're valuing losses for Penn State.
I think you take that. You're going to say that about every team. It's either Arizona State or Boise. Okay, Penn State's a good team. They've never proven to be a great team. So now, if Penn State wins, does that mean it's well, no, it wouldn't even be a top 10 win because it'd be 11 seed. James Franklin, man. It's going to be Notre Dame. Yep, Notre Dame's hosting. Here we go. So that means number 8 seed is going to be Ohio State. So that means 3 Midwest teams will be hosting a playoff game in mid-December. Yes. Yes. Bring on the biggest blizzard you ever could, dude. That would be cinema. That would be cinema to have the first weekend of college football have just snow everywhere. That would be great. It's going to be Ohio State's playing Tennessee, we know. So that means if Ohio State and they win, they get a rematch with Oregon.
Final home game belongs to
the Ohio State. Yeah, duh.
Ohio State.
We knew this. Why are they dragging this out? How would the rankings change from a team if they put them ahead of them last week? How would they change? I get technically metrics change, like analytical, because teams win and lose in the conference title game, but it wasn't going to change. So at least right now, they're not putting teams in the first round in the same conference with especially rematches. After you get to the quarterfinals, then there's nothing else you can do. I mean, if you can only do so much. I mean, Notre Dame, Ohio State at this rate is not better than Notre Dame. They beat Penn State head to head. Yes, I get that, but Penn State did what they needed to do. They lost to Ohio State, lost to Oregon. Those are their two losses, number 1 and number 8. Ohio State losses the number 1 Oregon and a 7-5 Michigan. Nope, not the same. I agree with Penn State being ahead of Ohio State. It's gonna be Tennessee, and it is number 9. Can't wait to see the spread in that one. I think Ohio State's going to be at least, I'd say at least 4.5 to 5.5 point favorite. Ohio State will be, and that might balloon up to 7.5 or 2 possessions. Who knows? I would say 5, at least around 5 would be starting spread, in my opinion. Rabel to Ohio State next year. Okay. You think Mike Rabel would do better than Ryan Day? Okay. Okay, dude. It hurts you more to go to a conference championship and lose than not making it. I totally agree. Number 10? I don't know. Get to it. So the next team is going to be, who do we have in here? Tennessee. Who's the 10 seed? Oh, Indiana's going to play Notre Dame. So that's going to be state of Indiana, dude.
Exciting to look at that game. Potential rematch with Oregon and Ohio State, or Tennessee gets a shot to take on the number 1 team throughout the year.
You know, it could be.
God, hurry up. Go Dogs. If it wasn't for Texas this year, Georgia would have been a very mid team, but they own Texas right now. They have their number. Maybe it's Quinn Ewers' number, but number 10 is going to be Indiana. See, there it is. Oh, Indiana, dude. Indiana made the freaking playoff. What realm are we living in right now? They were picked to finish, what, second to last? Arizona State was picked to finish dead last in the Big 12. Now they both are top 10 in the country. How can you not like this sport? How can you not like it, dude? Crazy. It's funny because if we had a 4-team playoff where there's no automatic qualifier, whatever it may be, it would have been Oregon, Georgia, probably Texas, and Notre Dame, Ohio, and Penn State. I don't know. That would have been completely different. There was 4 spots, but all right, here we go. The only debate that we thought would be the only spot we thought would be actual debate: SMU, Alabama. Yeah. What are their bad losses? What is SMU's bad loss? They lost by a combined 6 points. Alabama couldn't even score 6 points against a 6-6 team. They're going to put Alabama. I have a weird feeling they're just going to do it. Man, that top half of the bracket is going to be much more difficult than this bottom half already. They're going to put Bama in there just because Boise State's the 3 seed. And they want Alabama to beat Penn State, Alabama to beat Boise, and then Georgia to beat Notre Dame, Indiana. So it would be Alabama and Georgia. And then it could be potentially Texas and Tennessee in the semis. We all SEC semifinal. That's what I want it to be.
You got to choose one of them, and they're going to get criticism either way.
Here we go.
To take on Penn State and the final spot in the college football playoff. Who is it?
Yes, they did it. They did what they needed to do. They put in SMU, bro. Wow. Wow, good. Wow. I had a weird feeling they put in Bama, but I really thought they needed to put in SMU. So, wow, kudos to them. Kudos to them. They made the right decision. Wow, dude. Wow.
Alabama is the first team out, and the second team out,
They dropped them from 8 to 10. SMU, Alabama State 11, Miami was 13 because they moved. Arizona State moved ahead of them.
Alabama come up just short. SMU hangs on and gets
Wow.
and Nick,
Wow.
now, Nick is
Wrong again. What was I wrong about? I literally projected this. I literally said it was going to come down to this exact ranking. The whole video. Where was I wrong, Buzz?
If you want to incentivize scheduling, then you have to take that into consideration. Well, what's your
Oh, Jesus. Let's see what the hell Nick Saban's going to say about this.
Well, I think one of the things that I've mentioned, throughout this football season is if we don't take strength of schedule into consideration, is there any benefit to scheduling really good teams in the future? Like, here at Alabama, we're supposed to play Notre Dame, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Florida State in the future outside the league. Well, those are great games for fans to see.
Okay.
That's what I think we should be doing. In college football is creating more good inventory for great games that people are interested in.
The hat, both wrong.
But
I mean,
you
this
enhance
hat?
people wanting to do that. What's the
27-20, bro.
He may
Natty.
go cancel all those games now, knowing that the SEC is tough enough. But
Again,
at the same time,
when it favors the SEC, all they want to talk about is strength of schedule, regardless of their win-loss. That's all. I literally said this at the beginning of the video. It depends on whatever the metric that favors them. They want to exemplify that freaking metric. Oh, strength of schedule. Or the strength of schedule out of our conference. We have the 16th rated strength of schedule. Okay, 16th is not 3. 16th is not 6. 16th is not even 10. You're acting like they played the hardest schedule like in the history of mankind, and you're 9-3. That's different. If they played Georgia's schedule and they're 9-3, that's totally different. But you didn't. You lost to Vanderbilt, you lost to freaking Oklahoma, and you lost to a decent Tennessee team. You didn't lose to a 10-2. You didn't lose. You lost to Tennessee, which Georgia beat. You beat Georgia head-to-head, but Georgia should have won that game. They came back from a freaking 27-0 deficit. And then what's your excuse then? Oh, Jalen Milroe was a better quarterback. Depends on what Jalen Milroe you get. You're going to get the LSU Jalen Milroe? I mean, he had a lot of rushing yards that game. He didn't do much passing. LSU just sucks on defense. What are you going to get the, what was it? The Georgia Jalen Milroe? He was balling, before he threw his first pick. The first half, Georgia Jalen Milroe? Or do you get the Oklahoma Jalen Milroe, where he had like 17 yards on like 20 attempts? He had no touchdowns. He had barely 150 yards passing. I'm so happy that they made the right decision. I'm so happy they did this. This is good. This is good. I don't give a shit what the hell Nick Saban has to say anymore. His opinion is useless. I don't give a shit what he ever had to say because he's just a talking shill now. He can say what he wants. Oh, Vegas, we'd be favored. We'd be favored over SMU. Oh, I don't give a shit. Cool. You didn't win the games you were favored by. Oh, what were you favored against Vanderbilt by? 22? You're by 22 points against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. That's your argument. Vanderbilt. Okay. What did they earn throughout the course of the year? What did they earn? What did Alabama earn compared to everybody else? They didn't earn the damn thing. They lost to Oklahoma 2 weeks before the final week of the season, and they beat a 5-7 Auburn team. Ooh, we beat a rival. Okay. Michigan beat Michigan State 49-0 last year. Do you think that was, oh, look at this stat in our resume? No, fuck out of here.
They have the lowest ranked teams to get to where they want to go. And some of the higher seeds, like Oregon, is going to have to play Ohio State or Tennessee, which is, the 8th or 9th.
That's it. I'm not going to be on here for like the next hour dissecting this. I gave you guys my projections, what my input was beforehand. I told you what I thought they would do and what they should do. And what they did was what they should do. They put in SMU over Bama. SMU's the more deserving team. Resume-wise, what our eyes say, they were just a better team. Alabama was very mid this year. This is probably the worst Alabama team since probably their 10-3 3-loss team in 2010. So they should have been in the playoff. They made the absolute right decision. I have absolutely no arguments with any of these. I mean, that's the way it should be. So see you guys next video.